Hey there, it is Colin, and in this video, I'm going to explain to you how to structure your Google Ads account for your local service business in order to maximize performance and save you the most time in managing your campaign. So this will work for any local service business, things like plumbing, roofing, pressure cleaning, anything with a similar business model, this will work for. So just a little bit about me. I run a local growth group and we set up and manage Google Ads funnels for service businesses, and we successfully add, 10 to 50K plus in consistent monthly revenue for said clients. So that's just to say I know a thing or two about this. Now, in this video, we will cover why it's important to have the correct structure, the account structure that I use, and some examples using that structure, and how to actually set up that way, right? So the problems you're going to be facing with a poor structure is that you're going to have clutter and disorganization, and you're going to have low search and ad relevance. So why does this matter? If your account is cluttered and disorganized, you're going to struggle to track and understand your campaign performance, which means improving and managing the campaign becomes difficult and it takes up more time, which I assume your time is valuable, which means it's going to cost you, well, time and money. The other problem is you're going to have low search and ad relevance. So low search relevance means that the messaging doesn't resonate with the searcher. So if somebody searches for what you're offering and your messaging doesn't resonate with them, you're going to have low search relevance, which is obviously not good. And low ad relevance, which means you're going to have a lower ad quality score. So Google is going to think your ad isn't relevant, which lowers your ad quality score, which is not good for performance. So it's going to lead to lower conversion rates, which means you're going to have a higher cost per acquisition or cost per lead, right? And if you have a low ad relevance, your ad is going to be shown less and your cost per click is going to be higher, which also increases your cost per acquisition. So by having a low relevance, you're just going to be making things more expensive and less profitable, to put it simply. Now, this is an example structure that I like to use. It's key to note here, there's no one right or wrong way to do this. I just want you to take away the principles from this and apply that to your own business and your own situation, basically. So at the top, you have the company, the Google Ads account, and then you want to divide the campaigns based on, I like to call them overarching services or your main services. So like broad services, which I'll explain in a bit with examples. And I personally like to split the campaigns based on the budget. So you get to control the budget at the campaign level. So if you want to put a portion of your budget into one service and then another portion of your budget into another service, that's a good way to split it up, right? So based on budget. Then I like to split those campaigns into different ad groups based on keyword relevance, right? So I like to put what I call sub services in there. So which you'll also see in a sec with examples. And then in those ad groups, you're obviously going to have those keywords, and you may do A/B testing and have ad A and ad B. That won't be really covered in this video. It's a bit off topic, but yeah. And then for each ad group, you're going to have a service landing page that is dedicated to that ad group's theme, right? So let's just go through a few examples. So let's say you have a plumbing business. Let's just call it ABC Plumbing. You have a search campaign for different services. So we have drain services, leaks, and emergency plumbing. Now, that is divided based on an overarching theme, but you can also divide it based on the budget, right? So with the drains, you'll notice I split it into two ad groups. You got blocked drains and clogged drains. Now, yes, you can put these both in the same ad group, and yes, they are pretty much the exact same thing, if my English understanding is correct. But the reason I've split this is to maximize ad relevance, right? And keyword relevance. So inside the blocked drains ad group, I'm going to have blocked drains keywords. And inside the clogged drains ad group, I'm going to have clogged drains keywords. And they're going to have a separate landing page for each, right? And I've done the same thing for leaking taps with a leaking faucet. They're basically the same thing, but the actual wording is different. And therefore, the intent is slightly different in Google's eyes. Maybe not to the human, not to a human, but more so in Google's eyes. But of course, if somebody's searching leaking faucet, they might call taps faucets, because I personally call them taps. I never call them faucets. So there can be some, discrepancies right there. So that's something to consider as well. But to make it clearer, I've set up this roofing business example. So you have emergency roof repairs and normal roof repairs, right? The difference here is the urgency, and you might charge a different amount of money for these. So perhaps during winter, you have a lot more emergency roof repairs because of the weather, the storms, that kind of stuff. So you might be upping the budget on this campaign during winter. That's just an example of why you would split it, right? Now, in the ad groups, I've separated emergency roof repairs and 24/7 roof leak repairs. the intent behind them is very similar. Uh, it's likely people that need responses quickly and they want to get a roof fixed ASAP because they're in an emergency, right? But if you look at the keywords I've added here, you've got emergency roof repair, and then you got 24/7 roof leak repair. So there's different intent, and they've both got their separate landing pages as well. Now I'm going to explain to you why this is very important. So we want to maximize the ad relevance and also the search relevance. When I say the search relevance, I'm talking about from the user's perspective, from the person's perspective. So if they're searching for emergency roof repairs, they want to see an ad that says emergency roof repairs. 24/7 roof leak repair is pretty relevant to them, but what's even more relevant is using the exact same words that they're searching for, right? So we want to do that throughout our ad group, ad copy, and landing page. So in our ad group, we want to select our target keywords. And then in the ad copy, you want to have those same keywords. And in the landing page, you also want to have the same keywords and cover that topic with a bunch of content around emergency roof repairs, right? So the point I'm making here is that with high ad relevance, you're going to get a higher quality ad score and you're going to get more impressions and lower cost per click. In this example, you have emergency roof repairs LA. That's the keyword we're targeting. The ad copy, so the actual ad itself, will say emergency roof repairs LA. And then the landing page will cover that topic in detail as well. This maximizes the relevance, not only for the person, but for Google. So this will maximize your ad relevance score in the quality score, which will boost your performance. And just as another example, I've done the roof repairs here as well, 24/7 roof repairs throughout, right? So you get the idea basically from watching that. Now, something to note is it's important you find a balance. So you want to maximize specificity to get a high ad relevance and to divide ad groups by theme. So it's super organized and you're getting the max performance, right? However, you don't want to create too many ad groups as it becomes too difficult to manage. So that's the caveat, right? So the solution is it's not worth making an ad group for every keyword, right? You don't want to have to make a single keyword ad group, or a SKAG for short, for every keyword that you're looking for. If it has low search volume, chances are you could probably skip it, or you can just add it to an existing group, right? You don't have to create a dedicated ad group to it. And what you can do is consider combining multiple keywords into one ad group where it makes sense. So just as an example, if we had emergency roof repairs and we have 24/7 roof repairs, they're very similar intent, but to maximize that relevance, you could add both keywords to your ad group. And then with this ad copy, it just managed to fit 30 characters. It has the word 24/7 emergency roof repairs and the location all in one sentence. So just by doing this, you're already ticking the boxes for relevance for the keywords and in the ad copy. And then obviously you can do the same thing in your landing page. Make the H1 heading, include all of those words. So this way, you only have to have one ad group and you've just maximized relevance in this sense. Obviously, in a lot of cases, you won't be able to do this, but this is just an idea of what you can do. So take that into consideration. So the final takeaway is to split your campaigns based on the overarching service and focus on separating it based on how much budget you want to spend towards those separate services, right? Most ad groups just need a few keywords. They just need the service plus location and the service plus near me. And that's generally all you need. So that way you can keep your ad groups very specific and highly converting and relevant, right? And you want to separate those ad groups based on keyword specificity to maximize relevance, like we've already just covered. And you want to balance this by only separating it when it makes sense and don't create too much workload for your business or yourself, right? So that's pretty much all for this video. Thank you for watching. If you want help setting up and managing Google Ads funnels for your service business, feel free to book a call below to work with us. Secondly, look out for more videos. So make sure you like and subscribe to the video because I will be breaking down lead gen with Google Ads in great detail so you can build and implement a lot of this stuff yourself. And finally, make sure to download my free guides, links in the description. And this way you'll be able to learn how to set up the funnel for free. And there'll be more updates and guides on the way as well. So be sure to look out for that. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.